The Debrinick channel is back. My name's Debrinick. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the channel if you are the first time here. And we are talking about California today. And if you guys think this is worthy of a like and a subscribe at the end of the video, feel free to do so. Let's get right out to it. We're going to go right out to tropical tidbits, and we are going to look at the next several days. As we start here, you could see in the next 12 hours, no rain for California, but look at this. You have 3 storms that are going to come through. This is the first one, and this is going to hit January 17th, as it says right here and here. You can see, and it continues to scoot on, and a little bit of snow for the Colorado, and we continue to scoot on here. We're on the 18th, and you see this next one coming in, and ever since this cold air moved out of California, it's opened up a subtropical system that could possibly hit, and El Nino being strong as it is, you guys could be getting a lot of rain, especially in the north. We'll be talking about that when we go to windy.com here in a little bit, but check this out. It gets really wet here. This Saturday is going to be really wet, and you can see that it kicks in, and then another system kicks in, and it is just one atmospheric river after another. But what you don't see is a lot of blue in here. So there's some snow coming to the higher elevation in the Sierra mountain range. However, this is going to be a pretty warm system, so it's just going to be a lot of rain. We need to hope that there's some cold air with it to pack up the snow there, because you definitely don't need that to melt all the snow that's already on the ground, which is about 48% on the last video. We'll be checking that here in a little bit. So you can see that there's some snow, but not a whole lot of snow and a lot of rain. So that rain's going to be like a fire hydrant on there, causing big time concerns for like Lake Oroville and Shasta. They're completely higher than they normally have been over the last few years. Something to be concerned about as we scoot on, and you can see we're on the 23rd, and it's still raining with very little snow coming in the Sierra mountain range. So something we're going to have to watch as we continue to scoot. We are already on the 27th. And you can see another storm for Northern California as well. Not a whole lot going on in Southern California, but definitely Northern California. You can see that scooting in, and we're starting to get more of an east to west jet stream going across here. So you're not seeing the big cold here. The 512 line's way up here in Canada now. So a big warm up for the United States in general is on the horizon. It's coming. So all this cold weather over the last week or so has gone away. We're looking January 30th. We're already at the end of the month with a couple more days to go here. We're at 348 hours. We got another day or two left. Here's the 31st. You can see not much going on there, and everything starts to shift as we're at the end. So we're already at the end of the month here, and everything's starting to be fairly warm. You can see the 512 lines, generally the 512 line here, so the 516, 504, so the 512's right about here is generally the freeze line. Let's go ahead and roll on out to windy.com and see what's going on there next. As we roll out to windy.com, you can see that there's going to be plenty of precipitation. Now, this is the European model. They're really getting their act together and starting to agree. Now, you have to take this into consideration. Things can change, so take this for what it's worth, but right now they're calling for 8 inches of precipitation there around the Lake Oroville area, so that's incredible. Now we go to new snow and only 9 inches. That's not very much, so something we're going to have to watch. And even the most snow is like 41, and that's some higher peaks. East Quincy, and they're talking about 17, and you come down here to the Bullard's Bar Reservoir runoff there, and you can see 35, and you come down here to Folsom, and you can see 30.6, and you come up here to Mount Shasta, and you can see 41, and you come over here towards Lake Trinity, and you can see 39. Now we go back to rain accumulation, they're talking about 5.68 inches. I don't think that's all going to be snow, is what I'm trying to say here. So you have 7 there and 7 there, and then 6.5. Over at Chico, they're talking about 5.24. Hello to my viewers down in Yuba City, 3.3. We go over to Grass Valley, 5.28 inches of rain. Any new snow there? Nope, that's all rain. So you're going to be getting a soaker there. We go down to Sacramento, and you can see that 2.88, not a whole lot flat. We go down to Yosemite Valley, 2.06. We go over to Bear Valley, 3.27. Now, that is all snow. Obviously, that's in the Sierra, so that's pretty high elevation. We go back to rain accumulation. We go over to San Francisco, and you can see 3.36. We go over to Santa Rosa, 4.38. We come up to Eureka up here, and you can see 3.6. We go to Crescent City, almost 8 inches, so they're going to get a ton of rain. We come over to here to Happy Camp, 3.26, and we go down to Bakersfield, and you can see 8.3, Fresno, 1.46. We come over to my friends over at Lake Havasu, Arizona, 0.25. You're going to get a little rain down there, supercharged, so that's good, I suppose. San Diego, 1.4. Los Angeles, 1.1. Let's see what the GFS is calling for, especially up here by Lake Oroville. I'm curious. So you can see that they're still calling for a lot of rain, but they're not calling for 8 inches, so they're calling for 5.52. So that's still a ton of precipitation. We come down to Bullard's Bar Reservoir, and they're talking about 5.69. We come over here to Folsom. They're talking about 4, so that's a lot. Reno, possibly 1.57. We come up to Shasta, and we'll check this new snow. And you can see that this is going to be a rain event over a snow event. That's what they're calling for, so we will see. Like, even over here, they're calling for 16. East Quincy, they're calling for 16. So they're calling for a little bit colder air compared to the European models. We'll be waiting to see which one ultimately happens. And now we are going to go out to the graphs and see what's going on at the graphs next. As we roll out to Lake Folsom, you can see that the water level is currently 413.01 feet. That was Monday, January 15th, 2024 at 7 p.m. The level is 52.99 feet below full pool of 466 feet. And changes since yesterday over the last 24 hours. The lake is up 0.45 feet. We go over the last 7 days. The lake is up 0.86 feet. We go over the last 14 days, and it's 0.89 feet. We go over the last 30 days, and the lake is up 0.6 feet. However, over the last 120 days, the lake is down 24.36 feet. And over the last year, the lake is also down 3.74 feet. Your inflows are currently 3,000. Your outflows are 230. As we roll out to the graph, I will be coloring this in, just FYI, I haven't got around to it. I think it's the last one I got to do. 466 is your full pool. 423.17 is 2022. Last year we were looking at 416.74. Today we're at 413.01. Your record high is 467.23, and your record lows 347.56. If anybody knows the dead pool at Lake Folsom or Lake Oroville, please pass that information along. If you can find that out, that would be awesome. You could help the channel, and that would be much appreciated. Let's roll on to percentage of capacity, and the current percent is 48.34%. Up to Lake Trinity we go next. As we roll out to Lake Trinity, the current water level is 2,288.28 feet, and that was Monday, January 15, 2024 at 7 p.m. The level is 81.72 feet below full pool of 2,370. Changes since yesterday, the lake is up 0.19 feet over the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, the lake is up 6.68 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is up 3.49 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is also up 1.3 feet. Over the last 120 days, the lake is up 1.62 feet. And over the last year, the lake is up 70.56 feet. Your inflows are currently 2,072. And finally, we get some outflows of 67. That is what's going on there. We go to your graph next. You can see that 2,370 is your glory hole, 2,221.16 feet in 2022, 2,199.61 feet last year, 2,286.59 feet this year. Record highs 2,378.34 feet. Record lows 2,120.20 feet. Dead pools 2,100. And percentage of capacities 54.26 at Trinity. And if anybody has a topic or a lake maybe that they want covered, please feel free to let me know, and I'll see if I can get the information on it on a daily basis. And if I can, maybe I will include those in these California reports, or if you have a different lake around the country that's in need of talking about, please pass that information along. That would be great help and get in on the conversation. Let's chat. Over to Lake Shasta we go next. As we roll out to Lake Shasta, you can see that the current water level is 1,015.15 feet, and that was Monday, January 15, 2024 at 7 p.m. The level is 51.85 feet below full pool of 1,067. Changes since yesterday, the lake is up 0.15 feet over the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, the lake is up 4.92 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is up 2.33 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is up 0.87 feet, and over the last 120 days, the lake is down 9.53 feet. However, over the last year, the lake is up 40.72 feet. Inflows are 4,612, outflows are 5,447. Your full pool level is 1,067. In 2022, we were looking at 928.62 feet. Last year, we were looking at 974.43 feet. Today, we are looking at 1,015.15 feet. Record highs 1,066.94 feet. Record lows 836.68 feet. Dead pools 737.75 feet. Percentage of capacity 69.68%. Down to our final stop tonight, Lake Oroville next. As we roll out to Lake Oroville, the current water level is 823.53 feet, and that was Monday, January 15, 2024 at 7 p.m. The level is 76.47 feet below full pool of 900. Changes since yesterday, the lake is up a half a foot over the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, the lake is also up 6.68 feet. Over the last 14 days, the lake is up 5.12 feet. Over the last 30 days, the lake is up 0.5 feet. The lake is down 19.17 feet over the last 120 days. Lake Oroville is up 43.10 feet since last year at this time. Your inflows are currently 3,626. Your outflows are a whopping 3. We go out to your graph here, and you can see that 900 is the full pool level, 735.10 feet in 2022, 780.43 last year, 823.53 this year. 902.57 is your record high, 628 is your record low, and once again, if you guys know the dead pool, that would be greatly appreciated and helpful. And the percentage of capacity is currently 69.78%. Let's go out to the snow graph and see where our snowfall currently is to see how much this might possibly melt everything. Since the last time we've been here, it hasn't changed much. This has not been updated since the 11th of January, so it's still the same, 21 and 48, 21 and 46, 14 and 31, and of course your statewide's 42%, so nothing has changed here. So that is all I have. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. We will see you on the next one. God bless.